All right, part 3, and it's the Hardcore Justice pay-per-view review and results and coverage and blah, 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 blah. Too tired to start droning on about all that kind of stuff, so I'm going to get right down to the nitty-gritty here. Gunner and Kid Kash versus Chavo, Guerrero, and Hernandez starts off the card. Impact quality match. Not a great start to the pay-per-view. Way too generic for me. Didn't care whatsoever. It was mostly Chavo wrestling with a little tiny bit of Hernandez in there. I'm not really the biggest fan of either of them. I think that they're both kind of okay. But at the same time, I'm not really the biggest fan of Gunner and Kid Kash either. They're kind of just okay. It was just one of those bland matches. You could have removed it from the card and given the extra couple minutes to the other matches, and I wouldn't have been craving it anyway. So Chavo wins the match for them with a frog splash. Kind of saw that one coming, and that's about it. There's not really much to talk about with that.
Now, they are portraying Chavo to be a very, very big star in TNA right now. Much bigger than I think Chavo ever really was.
Well, big star in TNA, not the same as big star in WWE.
Well, I think even compared to TNA, now you got to consider TNA has the likes of Sting, Kurt Angle, Hulk Hogan. I would even put a Kennedy above Chavo.
Yeah, definitely. There's a whole lot of people that TNA has right now that's above Chavo. RVD, Jeff Hardy, Bully Ray even. But I'm okay with Chavo going at TNA. I think that it fits him.
Oh, absolutely. I just think they're giving it a lot of clout, a lot more than I think it really deserves. But I guess it doesn't hurt to try to make a big deal about people to make them look strong.
Yeah, and you know what I'd like to see him in? I'd like to see him maybe even still with a tag division with Hernandez. That kind of seems like they work well together, but I really would like to see him as one of the featured X Division people. I think that would be a good fit.
Absolutely, and you know what? It's not a knock on Chavo. Chavo is an excellent in-ring wrestler.
Yeah, he's great.
I think he's going to have a lot to teach the up-and-comers in TNA, so I think he's a great acquisition for them for that. I just don't think he's at that point in his career, and I don't think he's the type of person that deserves to be made out to be this huge
world title
huge
contender.
Star. Yeah.
And then we had the Bound for Glory series False Count Anywhere match. Rob Van Dam, Pope, D'Angelo Dinero, who actually wasn't in the match. He got attacked by the Aces and Eights before the match started. Magnus and Mr. Anderson. I thought that Anderson would win this, but it ended up going to RVD when he used the Van Daminator and pinned Magnus on the stage. I think that this kind of was hurt by the previous match, making me already not get into the pay-per-view, so they kind of had to build me back up from there, and I don't think that it really did it, so I wasn't really enjoying this match a whole lot. I thought the most interesting part of the whole thing was when Magnus was walking by a camera and he just yells, "Give me a fucking chair," too loud. And well, I forget if it was Taz or if it was Tenay, but one of them goes, "I think the man's looking for a chair."
Sounds like a Taz line.
Right.
Taz always has those oblivious type lines.
Not enough stuttering though for a Taz line. I think
Rob Van Dam, he's not winning this. He's not winning the Bound for Glory series. At least I hope he's not. I guess anything can happen. So this match is probably pretty inconsequential. No one else in the match, I think, really is someone who would have won it either. So doesn't matter.
Yeah, that's basically it. Doesn't really matter too much. Then they had a little segment talking about the Madison, Rayne, and Earl Hebner relationship. It'd be great if they were feuding instead. That'll happen with the divorce of the whole thing. But and she just basically said that she doesn't need his help to win the titles and all this kind of stuff. Not really much that you can't just miss, and it wouldn't make a difference. Then they threw together a little television championship match. Devon defends it against Kazarian. Devon wins with pinfall. Another bland, generic match that I didn't care about.
Oh, I wanted to say something about the knockouts match.
Oh, well, we'll get to that. It's the next match.
I thought you said that already.
Oh, no, just the backstage segment. Do you have anything to say about the TV championship, though?
Who?
Yeah.
What?
The TV championship.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
But the knockouts won. We had Miss Tessmacher and Madison Rayne. Tessmacher loses it to Madison Rayne after Madison rolls up Tessmacher and holds onto the ropes, but Hebner counts anyway. So we have a new knockouts champion. Better than any women's match that WWE would put on, especially if Triple H is in charge and he doesn't really like them.
For what I saw, they did a really cool story with Earl Hebner, and they developed a lot on it tonight. There was when he was coming out, they were saying, "You screwed Brooke, you screwed Brooke," since they always chant "You screwed Brett" at Earl Hebner. Brooke Hogan told him that he is no longer allowed to referee knockouts matches.
Huh.
And then we had another match later that evening where the knockouts title was switched back to Miss Tessmacher.
Oh.
With a new referee, Taryn Terrell.
See, I didn't watch it.
That's where she came in. Yeah, so that was a very short reign for Miss Madison Rayne.
Huh. I don't know how I feel about that. I don't know if I'm a little upset that they switched it too fast, or if that's actually a pretty decent idea. I might have to mull over that.
It's got to see where this goes. It depends if this is just like their quick way of writing out of the storyline, or if this is leading somewhere. So I guess we got to wait and see.
Yeah, I might actually have to pay attention to that one instead. I'll give you that one, TNA. I'm actually kind of interested in that. Then we had Bully Ray talk a little bit about the Aces and Eights, said that he's going to watch out for them and everything. He comes down to the ring with the next match, the tables match for the Bound for Glory series. Robbie E., Bully Ray, Jeff Hardy, and James Storm. Best match of the night at that point, and Bully Ray wins with a powerbomb after... The big story here was that Aces and Eights, this whole story with James Storm, they seem to try to help James Storm out, and James Storm doesn't seem like he's actually a part of it. Of course, you have to try to buy into does he or doesn't he and all that kind of stuff. But Bully Ray runs in at the last second, powerbombs Jeff Hardy, runs away, yelling that he's shattered his arm. I haven't heard anything about any actual injuries, so I'm assuming that he didn't, but... I thought it was actually a pretty decent match, and I'm not a huge fan of tables matches because I kind of don't like the idea that it just revolves around put the guy through a table and that's it. It seems a little simple to me, but I enjoyed it a lot. I especially liked Robbie E in it. I think that he doesn't get as much credit as he should be getting. And the same for Bully Ray in a little bit. I think Bully Ray's really doing a great job.
I agree with you on table matches. It's really hard to build high tension with a table match. I think one of the best the best matches where they did pull off really high tension moment was that John Cena Sheamus match where Sheamus was a newcomer and won his first WWE title. I also agree with you on Bully Ray. Bully Ray is one of the hottest commodities in wrestling today. And if you believe the sheets, he's on tough terms with TNA right now. And if they don't do whatever they can to keep him, it's a huge, huge loss for them.
Yeah, huge loss for them and hopefully a good gain for WWE. I'd love to see him back, especially on SmackDown, I think.
I don't want to see him on there because he would not fit on the PG WWE. He would be stifled. He probably would be fired just like AW, or they would just bury him by keeping him on internet shows, and that's it.
That's a good point. I didn't think about the whole PG thing. Probably because I don't want it to happen anymore. I'm just kind of living in my own fantasy world of they should just knock it off.
PG's not going away. As a matter of fact, I don't know if you're familiar with it. WWE is starting a Saturday morning children's television show that's going to be as PG can be.
Yeah, Saturday Morning Slam. Then we had Zema Ion defend the X Division Championship against Kenny King, which I thought actually was another good match. And Kenny King was just suplexing crazy, and I really enjoyed Kenny King a lot in this match. I didn't know really anything about Kenny King before this, but I'm going to be paying a little bit of attention to him now. I hope that they, excuse me, I hope that they sign him and they kind of keep him going in the X Division because I like what he's been doing.
I would almost have to be confident that he is signed. I mean, you're familiar with the controversy that happened with him coming over from Ring of Honor, right?
No, I'm not actually.
He was on a handshake deal with Ring of Honor, performing for them, and then Destination X came up, and he became one of the contenders in one of their Ultimate X matches, or one of their Ultimate X qualifier matches, and just stopped working for Ring of Honor at that point, and now he's with TNA. I don't know if he's on a handshake deal with them and they're just giving him more money, or if they took him into a deal. But that's pretty much what happened. He just walked out on Ring of Honor.
Wow. Well, hopefully he gets a deal, because if not, he's going to have some explaining to do.
There was a lot of rants put online by various Ring of Honor talent the night of Destination X when he came out.
Well, I'd like to see more of him. So
I would just like him to have new music, because that siren is awful.
Then there was the other Bound for Glory series match, the ladder match between AJ Styles, Christopher Daniels, Kurt Angle, and Samoa Joe. I thought Kurt Angle was going to win this, and it ended up being AJ Styles, which the way that I described it on the website was he wins via Shelton Benjamin, if anybody knows what that means, where he springboards onto the ladder, grabs the envelope real quick, and just falls down. And it came out of nowhere. It was going between Joe and Angle climbing, with Daniels being placed in between two rungs of the ladder, which I thought was actually kind of cool.
Yes.
And then out of nowhere, it's just like, holy shit, there's AJ and he wins the match. What? I blink and it's like the end of the match.
Even better than AJ's tremendous demonstration of physical ability was Samoa Joe's selling of the surprise of it. The bug eye look, like, what just happened? How'd that happen?
Yeah, he looked like he was like the Flash just came by and did something.
Yeah, exactly.
But I thought that was a good match as well. So that was 3 solid matches in a row, which helped me a lot better when it came to the start of the pay-per-view, which I didn't like a whole lot. And then we ended with Austin Aries beating Bobby Roode with a roll-up at the end of the night, retaining the TNA World Heavyweight Championship. Not as good as I was expecting it to be, so I was a little bit disappointed with that. But not bad. You know, I would see another match between the two of them, but I'm kind of expecting at the same time that we necessarily don't need to see another match between the two.
I think all the rumors that we were going to have Storm and Roode as the main event for Bound for Glory is looking like it's not going to be true so much anymore. I think they changed their minds. I think they're seeing that where there's smoke, there's fire with Austin Aries. He's doing a tremendous job as the champion. He's pretty universally loved, and you don't get many people like that in wrestling anymore. Everyone usually has a split audience.
Yeah, so they got to keep striking that while it's hot. Why not?
Absolutely.
So that's it then for the TNA review and results. Now we're going to move on to some WWE stuff. With first up is going to be the pre-show coming up in the next part.